Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. This is Zishan Isaac with Zishan on air every Sunday, right here on the legacy media as well as with social media all over the world. We have lots to cover, and we'll also talk about sports in terms of cricket. Is Pakistan going to be playing in the T20 World Cup in India or not? And what's happening on that front? We're also going to discuss Epstein files. Yes, that topic has not gone away in terms of all the mainstream media and how it's being covered. And then what's happening in Minneapolis? Is it a distraction from Epstein files or distraction from Epstein files to Minneapolis? And Saturday Night Live had a great parody of border czar Tom Homan, and it was hilarious. So in this particular program, we also try to do some political satire and try to keep it very light and also balanced. Because life is too short, and at the same time, politicians, they always make us, I would say, happy at times, very frustrated, angry, and also frustrated in a sense that people lose their patience, and they're hilarious too. And sometimes they're just outright liars, a majority of them. Last time I said 99.9, maybe it will go to 99.59s, who knows? Which obviously is a term it's used in terms of technology side of the business world. So let's dive right into our key topics. And if you've not subscribed my YouTube channel, please do, because that's how you will stay up to date and will get the latest information and news and analysis. Minneapolis ICE observers keep showing up despite risk of arrest and violence. So why are they so dedicated? Because they know what's going on in their streets. Their streets have all these law enforcement people, as they have been called by the administration, as well as the border patrol. There was one Somali American. He stood his ground. He didn't show his ID. And I can't fathom this, because if it was somebody else, and I'm not advocating for that, you should always cooperate with law enforcement. But this fellow, obviously American citizen, and he literally took them home. When I say took them home, meaning he stood his ground and he said, what authority do you have? And you're a border patrol. This is not a border. So, and he was an Uber driver. He was actually an engineer. He got his engineering degree in America and is an Uber driver. Now, that will tell you what's happening in America. That why somebody who came to this country legally, got his citizenship, he is an engineer and he's driving an Uber. Now you may say, obviously he couldn't find job or couldn't perform. That's all your opinion. But at the same time, have you not ever thought about that a person with an engineering degree driving an Uber, there's something wrong with the economy. The economy is not working for anyone. That's why there was this very famous statement, it's the economy is stupid. And any administration in the US who does not work on fixing the economy, they always come up with all these different types of, I would say, distractions. So people, they get occupied with all this nonsense, because at the end of the day, it's not going to work. This is not a banana republic. This is not a third world country. In this country, people have come from all different parts of the world. Even people who are born and raised in this beautiful country, they are scratching their heads. Many of them have already left the grid, or they're off the grid. We see so many homeless people. So I can go on and on. But the problem is not Democrats and not even Republicans. They are fixing the root causes, because it's difficult to work. That's where you have to roll up your sleeves and you have to deliver. I have not come across a single politician. I ran for local office here. So please bear with me. I have not come across a single politician at the local level who has his or her heart in the right place. It's a big statement. I just made it. Because when I talk to people on the streets, when I talk to people on Main Street, the kind of issues they are facing, no one is solving those issues. That's why people have fed up of this political system. Many people are not voting. Last elections, obviously, a lot of people thought that maybe Donald Trump, because he's not a politician, or he actually is somebody outside of Washington, D.C., or outside of Beltway, as they call it in D.C., maybe he will drain the swamp. And here we are, more than a year into his administration, and this guy, Greg Bovino, loses his job, because obviously the buck doesn't stop at the Oval Office, as famously some great presidents have done that. Now the buck stops at whoever is, going to be fired, or would lose his or her job. Because politicians, it happens in corporate America and it happens in private world, it happens in any world, and it happens in politics as well. Because accountability is what dictates leadership. It's a great leadership trait that you have to have accountability, because people are reporting to you. So either your process of reporting is bad, or your governance is bad, or maybe your leadership, basically how it is. And I'm not saying it to any one person. I'm just saying it in general. It could happen in private sector, it could happen in public sector, and it happens in politics as well. So Greg Bovino, well, obviously if Greg Bovino was doing his job properly and he had the right kind of skill sets, he would not be losing his job. So it always comes down to politics. And when people, they don't have the right performances or have the skill sets to perform, then they lean on other things. Favoritism, sucking up to his or her boss, creating these fiefdoms. We see it everywhere. We see it in every field. Whether you are working for corporate America or you're not working for corporate America or you're in business, people who do not perform, obviously, no one is going to buy products from them. However, what happens is that when people, they start affiliating with other people or create sort of like a mafia, for lack of a better term, then they just protect each other. It's called fiefdoms. It's called becoming very territorial. And that's why we get into this mess. So Greg Bovino obviously loses his job because someone has to lose the job, because 2 American citizens, some have reported there's a 3rd person who died as well. I'm trying to research on that. I haven't come across that news, and pardon my, I guess, not complete research on this, but there's so much going on in politics. So I have to pick and choose, obviously, the key topics that impact all of us. So Greg Bovino loses his job. The Border Patrol Chief has been ousted from his role as Commander at Large, whatever that means, and will return to El Centro. So good for him. At least he's returning back, not completely losing his job. Otherwise, that could have happened as well. So controversial Border Patrol chief sidelined as Trump sends Homan to Minnesota. And now Tom Homan is there, and he's the border czar. So what is the border czar doing in Minneapolis? Well, I would ask you to answer that question, or ask that question to those who are in charge or in politics. Greg Bovino has been removed from his role as Border Patrol, quote, Commander at Large, and will return to his former job in El Centro, California, where he expected to retire soon. Good for him. Give him a golden parachute, in fact. According to DHS official and 2 people with the knowledge of the change, was reported as you know by The Atlantic. And Bovino's sudden demotion is the clearest sign yet that the Trump administration reconsidering its most aggressive tactics after the killing Saturday of 37-year-old Alex Pretty, which was obviously last Sunday. I discussed about Alex Pretty as well, by Border Patrol agents under Bovino's command. Now, in social media, everyone is attacking this old video that happened a couple of weeks before his death, where he kicked the tail light of that SUV and was cursing at the ICE agents. Well, that's one side of the story. Obviously, no one is going to condone that. But obviously, he is not singing Kumbaya. He's out there protesting, and he is not there with his gun, because we have seen some other people from other political ideologies with actually guns, in their hands, and walking down the street, and people were cheering for those type of protesters. Oh, peaceful protest, but came with a gun. And he obviously had an open carry license. The problem is the guy is dead, so he cannot defend himself. And now you expect his family to defend his entire life, which obviously was only 37-year-old. So this is what happens. Only politicians or corrupt politicians would do that they would go and attack that person's life because of that 10-second or 20-second lapse. He was not an angel. No one is an angel. He's a human. So if he, out of his emotions, kicked the tail light, which obviously no one in his or her right mind can condone it, but he did it. Why didn't you arrest him there? I thought that he would have been arrested, because if someone else would have kicked it, that person would have been arrested. So anyway, he paid even big time by losing his life. And the way whole thing happened, we all know. The beautiful thing in this day and age, that your cell phone camera or your cell phone is more dangerous than a gun, because in fact, it can get you killed. That's exactly what happened with Alex Pretty. We cannot sugarcoat this. We cannot say it in any other way. Now, these are the protests that are happening all over the US now. Mainstream media may not show it. Maybe some Democrat leaning or those who are not affiliated with Fox News will show it because obviously we don't want to show reality. But East Coast to West Coast and all over the US in many major cities, these are the scenes. Rebecca Winter is one of the activists, and he was interviewed by DW, which is Deutsche Welle's German national, or one of their networks. I don't know if it's national or if it is private media. Senators trying to avert shutdown over ICE tactics. That's another one. You can see some people protesting with these sign left ICE melt or let ICE melt. And then all these people, lots of people, right, from San Antonio to Minneapolis, stop ICE terror, party for socialism and liberation. And that's okay if they are advocating for socialism. That's their right. Not everyone wants to be a capitalist, although I'm all for capitalism, but proper capitalism where it's done properly with the rules, not without the rules, and balanced rules. And this is where, some other people and even high schoolers were protesting. So this is where the situation in America is very volatile, and some people are really, really scared, and some people are getting paranoid, and some people are thinking that maybe this country will face some turmoil on the streets, and then the president of this country will use this as an excuse to impose martial law. There you go, I said it. So now, this is what I'm hearing and listening and even watching from very credible social media chatter that is happening. So we have to address it as citizens, as Americans, because we don't want to see any kind of turmoil. We don't want to see any kind of destabilization in our homeland, in our country. We want to see peace. And we want to see all these difficult and complex issues to be resolved amicably. Now, easier said than done. That's where hold each and every person who's running for office accountable. Every question is a legit question. I have been hearing some chatter and some very credible reports from our own Houston residents, or even those who live in Harris County or those who reside in Fort Bend County, where people are asking some questions. And some of these clowns, lack of a better term, have the audacity to even say that to a registered voter, that why are you asking this question? You don't understand politics. How dare you say that to even one voter? And I have eyewitnesses who actually have listened to these clowns who are running for office. And I don't want to name any names, but most of them are indeed clowns. Because if they have the audacity, that imagine they are unhinged. So the same politician would say so many things about President Trump. I'm not defending President Trump, but imagine you're at a local level saying this. So imagine if you would have become a governor of the state of Texas or the president. Thank God you're not that person, because maybe even those who are against the governor and the president of this country, you would forget about the existing incumbents and we'll be talking about these clowns who have the audacity to even say that to a voter. That's right, folks. So that's called being unhinged or living with that drug of power and control that you have. But remember, it's us. We are the ones who vote. And many are choosing not to vote. And if the voting will go down, that's also bad for democracy, because then it will be democracy or people by the few or elected by the few or government of the few or, government of the few or by the few. Well, in an oligarchy sense, like Senator Bernie Sanders and AOC, Congresswoman, when they have been doing their Fight Oligarchy campaign and massive number of people were showing up, that's exactly the message, because oligarchy is what it is. It's by the very few people, invited by invitation only, and they are the ones running the show. So I think people get it. I think all of us who have been paying attention, we get it. System is rigged, and that's why America is at the crossroads. Either we will have elections this year, and some people are saying we may not even have elections this year. And that is where people are openly talking about it. So it's upon us, it's incumbent upon us to ask these politicians, even those reporters who may dare, who have access to the White House, they should ask President Trump that, Mr. President, can you unequivocally say it openly that yes, there will be elections this year? It's a legit question to ask, because we don't want to have any kind of uncertainty and any kind of speculation, because that's not good for the markets. That's not good for even planning. That's not good for investment. That's not good for even those who are first-time home buyers. It's not good for anything. That's how the third world countries operate. So we don't want to let that happen in our own home and in our own country and in our United States of America. And that's where this is the message for everyone who understands what's at stake. Ditch the dams. That's right. Many people are not liking what Democrats are doing, except one person. And that is Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. He's facing a lot of pressure economically and financially and politically, because many people are sending him hats for Trump third term. Literally, he said that on many talk shows and in his many interviews. Go ask Gavin Newsom why people are sending him. Are they just trying to tease him? Or when he himself said that President Trump openly said that he wants to get elected third term. You cannot joke about these things. I mean, this is where people are losing their trust on the word or how the highest office of the land and the person who's occupying the highest office of the land, his word should matter. And that's another problem. So remember when they used to say, oh, the red line, and when Obama was, saying things about Iran or what have you, those red lines, and then those red lines are crossed and nothing happens. Well, that's what happens. When you say something, you should back it up or don't say it. That's how adults work and operate. Or have somebody else maybe say it. You should not say it, meaning the president should not say it. Maybe share that message with some other people. Maybe the vice president or secretary of state should say it and see how people will react to it. Obviously, it's not going to be a positive reaction, because people who are smart and paying attention and rational and objective people will question that. That is the vice president okay? Is the secretary of state okay? But here we are. So this is what's happening. So is there a constitution? Is there a rule of law? Is there any kind of common sense that we should see in our country? That's the question that people are asking. That's why ditch the dams. That's what even Democrats are getting fed up of, this smoke and mirrors and the dog and pony show. Epstein survivors speaks out about DOJ's latest file drop. So, folks, as you can see on the screen on the right-hand side, everything black, these are your Epstein files. Please go decipher that. Please go interpret that. Please go ahead and read it. And if you can, please tell me as well what's written there. Obviously, I'm saying that sarcastically, because that's where Jess Michaels, she is one of the survivors. She was on CNN, and she told this in her interview that, hey, the victim's name is what her finger is on, her index finger, and that's where they blacked out. That's great. But why did you black out the entire page? Obviously, the victim is accusing and literally saying a lot of things about the perpetrator. That's why they blacked out everything. And whose names are there? Well, you go figure. So that's how they've released the Epstein files. So yes, the DOJ and the administration and all those who are paying attention, anyone can say, yes, we have released all the files. But out of those files, how many pages have been redacted? That's a subject. That's a subject or a topic for a different day, where we have to now discuss that. Okay, well, it's same thing like, what about transparency? So that's what Jess Michaels was saying. So I'm reporting, you decide. That's all I'm doing here, because that's our job. We are not patriotic if we are not going to ask these questions about our own country. If you are, in fact, one of those people who think that, yes, we are all patriotic and we gotta, pray for the country and the God country and guns, especially because I live in a red state, then you should be asking these questions, because you're the ones who basically write it on your sleeves, or you thump your chests, or you say it openly. So you should be asking these questions. You should be the first one to, in fact, out there protesting. And that's the reason why many people are saying that we may not have elections this year, because the administration knows that they will lose the election. So why even have them to begin with? It's a serious topic, folks. We cannot say this lightly. And I'm saying it with a very heavy heart. That's what I'm hearing. Every other Blogger and vblogger, and there's a chatter, and people are talking about it openly now. When Steve Bannon openly saying that they are working on a third term for President Trump, every citizen, every American, every US national should be concerned about it. I'll say that again. Steve Bannon, when he's on record to say that they are already working on a third term for President Trump, then every American should be concerned about it. And not just concerned, but should be asking the right questions. So that's basically where we are in the whole arena of political aspects and politics of this country. Trump names former Federal Reserve Governor Walsh as the next Fed chair to replace Powell. So we knew that at the end of his term, in terms of Jerome Powell, the president has the authority to name the next Fed chair. And Jerome Powell was also someone who President Trump nominated him. And Democrats may ask, well, he should have been removed earlier. Then why President Biden didn't do it? He didn't do it. Many Americans and many Democrats, I even heard it, and in many political shows and in many political commentary that I've heard with my own ears, where many Democrats and even liberals and progressives were saying that President Biden, when he was in office, should have increased the number of Supreme Court Chief Justices from 9 to 15. Legally, he can do that. That didn't happen either. So go ask the Democrats that question. But don't ask Senator Schumer, don't ask Hakeem Jeffries. Ask the real Democrats like Gavin Newsom, like Senator Bernie Sanders, like AOC. Because that's it. I'm not even going to any other Democrat. I'm only going to stick with these names. I know there are some other names, but their credibility is also at stake at this time, or at risk, in fact, or they have lost their credibility. So it's important. Dino, that's the term. Democrat in name only, or like the other side, they have it, Rhino, Republicans in name only, or Republican in name only. That's why you have this swing from independents, and then people pick and choose the candidates, especially in the general election. Traveling warning escalates for tourists as U.S. State Department flags, quote, armed conflict, unquote, risks. So Pakistan, which many people have seen, the army chief of Pakistan, Asim Munir, he's the field marshal for life. He's been very, close, or at least, even when the prime minister is pointing out, oh, you please, say hello to him, because otherwise, anyway. So now they put Pakistan at travel advisory. Just a couple of weeks ago, they put Pakistan's immigration, legal immigration for family, at halt or at pause. It was amongst the 75 countries. So that's the state of politics, because it's all about personal agendas. It's not about the country, it's not about the people. And that's a classic example with Pakistan. And there's more for Pakistan. It's coming up. It has made some international headlines, not for positive reasons, but for very concerning and negative reasons. This travel advisory is coming from the U.S. State Department. There's risk of terrorist attacks in Pakistan. Terrorism, violent extremist groups have carried out attacks in Pakistan. Terrorist attacks typically happen in Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, including the former FATA, which is federally administered tribal areas. It was not part of Pakistan. It was federally administered, but now they've brought them into Pakistan and within the boundary, and people in those tribal areas, they have their own tribal traditions. They don't like it. They don't want to be part of Pakistan. But hey, might is right there. That's another one. When people say might is right, that statement with the United States of America, well, whenever other weak people or less might people, when they do it the same way. Might is right, because that's the name of the game in the world. So, but they have also occurred in major cities such as Karachi and Islamabad. Terrorists may strike without warning, and then obviously hotels, markets, malls, military and security forces sites. So this is coming directly from the U.S. State Department. So you got to take it seriously, because remember, we have intelligence, we have human intelligence, we have intelligence all over the world. We spend billions and billions and billions of dollars, and people don't even know how it works, because that's the beauty of it. Remember Maduro? When US went in and picked him up in 3 minutes, and he was thumping his chest as well. You cowards. That's what Maduro said. Well, guess who's a coward now? I'm saying it, politically satirical way. I'm not saying that that was the best thing that happened and that's how it should happen. But hey, might is right. With that mindset, obviously, Maduro should not be challenging the superpower, which still the United States of America is. And guess what? When you do that, then you ask for it. And that planning happened for months. And CIA, in fact, knew what he was eating. That's according to the CIA chief and according to CIA. So I'm just rephrasing what they said. And they knew what his pets, they knew his movement, they knew what he liked, disliked, what have you, and they knew where he would be sleeping. So in 3 minutes, they went and got it, and they got him and his wife. And they are facing, obviously, charges in New York City. So travel advisory, reconsider travel level 3. It's basically been raised, and then demonstrations and all that. Now, let's wrap it up with this last one with regards to politics, right? So politics has seeped into every field, and I have, no patience, no strategic patience, as what China always says. Oh, we have strategic patience. I don't know what that means. Strategic patience, right? They say it, China, right? And a lot of people are big fans of China. I always tell them that why don't you go live in China and please report to us every week. Maybe we're missing out something here. If you love it so much in China, maybe you should go and live there. And I'm saying it, in a very positive way. Maybe there's something we're missing out in this country. So please go live in China, those who are Chinese Americans, and report to us. Maybe we'll think about, visiting China or doing more business with China or living there. Who knows? So that's another one, right? So I want to keep it, funny and political satire, with political parody, and with some interesting nuances here. So don't take everything literally here, because you won't even know which was political satire, which was not. Pakistan to boycott T20 World Cup match against India on February 15th. Wow, let's give them a big round of applause, folks. Beautiful, right? What the heck? Why are you mixing politics with the sports? And why you don't want to play with India? One, you're going to lose again, maybe. A lot of Indians are cheering on that comment, right? And second is, our egos are hurt. We just can't take it. Why? And if you don't want to play with India, why are you playing with others? It's still within the same ICC umbrella. And why you don't want to play with your neighbor? Even United States of America played with Iran, and Iran played with US soccer match. And imagine the kind of animosity and hate between both governments, not people to people, because people to people is always good, or most of them, right? But some people, they get swayed, they get influenced with that kind of rhetoric, right? Oh, now because our government has said it, so now we just have to be enemies with them because the government has said it. And it's about any government in the world. I'm not just pinpointing any single government. So now the Pakistani government has said, we will boycott T20, yeah, and people are like cheering, and some people are laughing. People like me, we are literally laughing. We are out of words, although I have a lot of words. I mean, what are you doing? A lot of people, they love to see this rivalry. In fact, it's the biggest rivalry in the world. They say it between Australia and England in cricket. No, it's even Pakistan and India. Imagine the millions of dollars, literally millions of dollars, because they said it in their own Urdu and Hindi version, karoron and arbon, which is the word they used. That's millions and billions of their local currencies, because of investments, because of commercial airtime and advertisers, because there's a lot of hype. And even though the record is not so much in Pakistan's favor, but they have beaten India in some World Cup matches as well. However, and in some other big tournaments as well, but it's not about scoring or leveling the score, although many people in general, they like that, and it's always sort of like a thing to feel good and make the other person feel better. It's a sports. One team has to win, one team would have to lose, but it's always fun to watch the game. And many celebrities and actors and actresses and people from all different walks of life, they love to watch that game. So now, guess what? It's called collective punishment. None of you are going to watch the game. You children, sit down. So whoever made the decision basically is operating with that mindset, right? And Amit Shah, who is the Home Secretary, in fact, his son probably, the other one is another Shah. So his the Home Secretary of or Home Minister of India, his son is the BCCI chair. His name is also, last name is Shah. So anyway, Bangladesh was kicked out because they didn't want to play with in India, and they said no. So they brought Scotland, and now the Pakistani government obviously has announced they will play. Now they will lose those 2 points. Why are you even then going? You should have also sit it out then. I mean, it's better for the other teams. Now they will have to see, okay, some teams will get unfair advantage. They have brought politics into everything. And that's where it's up to the people. So here is the official account by the government of Pakistan, and I'm going to read it verbatim. The government of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, go figure, Islamic Republic of Pakistan, okay? Yeah, I'm going to say it because all those who claim to be Muslims, and I'm a Muslim as well, Islamic Republic of Pakistan, that's what you're doing as Islamic Republic. Well, that's on you. You're representing that, grants approval to the Pakistan cricket team to participate in the ICC World T20 2026. Oh, thank you so much. That's what the fans are saying, right? And then, however, the Pakistani cricket team shall not take the field in the match scheduled on the 15th February 2026 against India, because we have very low egos or big egos, or we're just so shallow. Everyone is laughing. I don't know. Some people would be mad. Some people are maybe angry. And guess what? Pakistanis should be asking this. But then again, how can Pakistanis ask this question? That's up to the Pakistanis. And if they would, they may be in jail. So that's what the Pakistan's participation in the tournament was thrown into uncertainty. So after Bangladesh were ousted by the International Cricket Council, remember the Home Secretary of or Home Minister of India, his son is the ICC chair. So go figure that one. And over a logistical deadlock, whatever that means. So now Pakistan has said it openly, and they have made the decision. They're going to lose those 2 points. This whole entire T20 World Cup is obviously, thrown away into the history books as 2 whiners, both India and Pakistan, both governments. When the United States of America and even Iran, or they call it Islamic Republic of Iran, when both countries, when they can play, you can see very clearly both countries, or at least their administrations or governments, have more maturity than India and Pakistan, because even US has played against Iran and vice versa in World Cup, FIFA matches, and in other tournaments. But these people, the government of India and the government of Pakistan, they've made a mockery and joke, not of themselves, but of the people who belong to India and Pakistan, because it's always the people. So it's about the people. The people should be asking this question. So I'm just reporting here. That's how common people are thinking. Everyday Americans are thinking that, what is going on? So, well, there you go. So this is another interesting situation that has developed. We're going to see it. And then there are some comments here. People are saying, I should follow Trump. Okay, good for you. You can follow whoever you want. Another one saying Trump is our Lord, God, King, and Emperor. I don't know if it's satire or he literally means it. Rest of world and his country is happy. Maduro is not in power. That's Casey Williams' comment. And then someone says settle. Okay, settle where? Maybe the comment on in China. Okay, good for you. If you are settling or if you have settled there. So again, I report, you decide, because my whole idea is to inform everyone and talk like as if we are having this discussion at a bar or at a restaurant or somewhere we meet, and we are having heart-to-heart conversations, because that's what we need. We're all humans. We're all Americans. Many of you who watch this may not be American, but that's okay. We're all humans at the end of the day. And we got to make sure that we stay informed and ask the right questions, because it's upon us. It's happening under our watch as well. With that, I'm going to share some of our key advertisers' information, because without them, this show is not possible. And if you've not subscribed my YouTube channel, please do. Affordable Insurance of Texas, AITinsurance.com. Please visit them, AITinsurance.com website. Get auto insurance quotes. You can call them 713-785-4000, 713-785-4000. For commercial insurance, even homeowners insurance, you can bundle insurance. They have lots of products. And for auto insurance, call 713-785-4000 or AITinsurance.com. I would like to mention Group Saudi Palace. They are at Hillcroft, but you can call them and you can even do a virtual appointment. And what that means is they will show you all their new collection, even the new arrivals from India, Pakistan, other parts of the world, of all these beautiful attire, evening gowns for brides, and even bridal wear, and grooms. For grooms, they have a lot of collection, even for men, women, and children, boys and girls. You can call them 832-607-0065. And again, 832-267-0065. You can call them, set up a virtual appointment, and visit them at Hillcroft in Houston if you are visiting Houston or in Houston. And their website is roopsari.com. And also, I would like to mention ShehnaiTexas.com. That's their web address, because everything is online. People use apps and go online and they can order. You can order from all day menu, or you can order from their party trays choices for 20-25 guests. Or if you're doing or planning a catering, they have experience of 25 plus years now. They've celebrated their silver jubilee, or 25 years, just a few weeks back. And they can do catering for 600-700 people, 400 people. They have just done it, recently, and even for thousands of people. They have the experience. Call Mr. Shahid at 713-953-1388, 713-953-1388. They're at 5920 Hillcroft, or you can go online, ShehnaiTexas.com. And if you mention my name, you will certainly get best, quotes or pricing for catering. Prince Jewelers Houston, they're at 5901 Hillcroft Street, Suite C3, and their number is 281-777-1457, 281-777-1457. Gold prices have gone up, then they went down a little bit, but gold is something you can use it as an asset. You can also, use it as an investment. A lot of people, they buy gold, all kinds of gold jewelry, from heavy sets, light sets, chains, necklaces, earrings, rings, you name it. You can even sell, you can even buy 22 karat gold jewelry. They have decades of experience. 281-777-1457. They are at 5901 Hillcroft Street, Suite C3. That's Prince Jewelers Houston. And last but not least, I would like to tell you about a chef. A chef is someone who knows how to make Pakistani food, especially, and also Indian food. If you know how to make biryani, korma, pulao, goat kadhai, chicken kadhai, kebabs, all these, top-notch, very special items that not everyone can make, and especially delicious food, then call Mike, because he's looking for a chef for one of his locations. Don't show up at that location. It's for Sugarland, Demasi. There are many locations all over Houston, and even in California, and even in Texas, other cities. Call Mike, 832-605-0600. Those of you who are watching me live, and thank you for participating and watching me. I know many of you have commented and watched me live as well, and then you share and subscribe. That's great. That's how the power of social media continue to compounds, and that's how we share this latest and greatest information, that with research you stay informed. So call Mike, 832-605-0600, 832-605-0600. That's his number on the screen. So with that, I'm going to sign off, and we'll connect next Sunday on the same station, Legacy Media. And then there's one more comment from this town is glorious. That's the username. Only the mega cult cowards is still standing. So that's his or her comment. I don't know who that person is, but that's the power of social media, compounded and powered with Legacy Media. Many and thousands listen to me as well. So again, I report, you decide. We are Americans. We are proud Americans. We are patriotic Americans. And those of you who don't believe in patriotism or nationalism, but you're an average citizen, or John Doe or Jane Doe, or just everyday American trying to put food on the table and trying to make your ends meet. I know these are tough times, and I get it. And I know we're all in this together, but we got to make sure that we don't lose our eye on the ball, because this country is one of the greatest countries in the world, if not the greatest. It is, because we have a long history, and that history is also has its ups and downs. So we've got to make sure that we open our eyes, listen with our own ears, and trust our wisdom, trust our own knowledge. And those of you who may be confused, ask each other. We may learn from each other. So that's why it's important we stay connected. And I feel for you if you're struggling in this economy. I really feel for you if you are trying to find a job. I have gone through multiple layoffs in my career in corporate America, but hey, this is where how free economy works. Although sometimes, in some situations, it doesn't feel it. That is it that free, or is it just by design? But we gotta have faith, and we gotta be one of those people who stay resilient with true grit and at the same time hopeful. So don't give up, don't lose hope, and stay connected. With that, signing off. Please stay connected with me. If you've not subscribed my YouTube channel, please do. And again, you have been wonderful viewers and wonderful audience. Thank you.